Welcome to the webinar Introduction to the APQP system and how we use it in automotive from Adrian Barbu, Head of Supply Quality Management at S.R.L, Romania. My name is Franziska Kramaike. I'm part of the Peak Avenue marketing team. We are pleased to welcome you to one of our webinars within the Quality and Engineering Circle. I would like to point out that we have recorded this presentation in advance to avoid technical issues due to high registration numbers. But our speaker, Adrian, is present at this webinar and will be available for your questions at the end. You can ask your questions via the chat function, and I will collect them and ask them to our speaker at the end in the Q&A session. You can find the function in our webinar dashboard. We will make this webinar recording available to you over the next week. I think now we are ready. You can start with your presentation.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Adrian Barbu. I'm the SQA responsible within the S.R.L organization for Business Group Electronics. And today I will have a short introduction to the APQP system and how we use this in the automotive industry within this quality and engineering circle. So as a short introduction from what I will present to you today, we will have a short approach of the APQP in the automotive industry, how we handle this in the supply chain, and how we are using the two IQS modules, the APQP and the ISIR modules. So this will only be a short view and a short explanations on how the approach and how the systems are working within the industry. Well, for the people which are really using the standard, so the APQP standard, it's an IAG approach, which is used since many years. The most important phases that we are using within the standards are the 5 phases. These 5 phases represents the planning of the product that we are planning to develop, the design and development of our product, the process and implementation verification for our products, and of course then we are discussing about the process product validation in order to ensure that what was designed and developed it's feasible. And of course there's the last one we discuss about production and corrective actions whenever it's required, or continuous improvement, how we are also naming within the industry. Every process and every product that we are using, it's done by the final PPA or PPAP process release that we are using in order to validate the 5 phases which are relevant for our products that we are putting on the market to the cars. For sure, the 5 phases are really detailed, so I will not go into these details today, but there is a lot of activities and a lot of team behind, from program management to engineering department for testing and manufacturing and mechanical designers, which are really putting the efforts together with quality development and supplier quality team to make sure that such kind of approach is really maintained, that they are really trying to secure at the end of a good product base for our customers, OEMs or tier 1 customers. Well, a very important point which I want to bring to you within the IAG system, it's definitely the Plan, Do, Study, Act. Yeah, so the PDSC approach, which is used within every industries. I don't know, it's not really known if every industry uses the same PDSC as a naming, but I'm pretty sure all the industries are using the approach itself. Yeah, so they always have to plan activities, they always have to do the activities, they have to study or analyze those activities, and then of course need to act accordingly in order to make the implementation in a proper way. I wanted to bring this approach within this circle, because this is one of the main reasons why the IAG was really successful within the industries, due to the fact that this concept of development and prototype verification that are really necessary to understand what we are really planning to place on the market, and the studies that are required in order to make the product validation in a safe way, together with the continuous improvements, are always securing our supply chain. Yeah, and within the supply chain, all the external suppliers are using pretty much the same system, and we as HELA we are using this approach to our suppliers in the same direction. Of course, the customers or the OEMs as well, they are using the same approach with us, and this is always within a loop of continuous communication and improvements for our product. Yeah. Good. Then going to the next slide, we always consider the product quality planning in a timely manner. So it's always depending how we are developing our products within a given time frame. We always have to consider the program management expectation based on what are the customer requirements, and also from the cost point of view. Yeah. So every project that we are putting on the market, it's really depending on the timing and the cost impact within the organization, and this is why we always have to take these phases, which APQP is really very good on describing and making them. That's the planning phase. It's something that it's always necessary to understand what we are getting from our customer as a requirements. Yes, and of course, then based on those requirements, then we really know how to put those requirements within our product, and how to design and develop the product that the customer it's requiring. And these two of them, so the product design and development and process design and development, they are hand in hand, so they always go in parallel, because one team is working to develop the product itself, and the other team is developing the process itself. As at the end, we need to make sure that we are using the proper production manufacturing for our products towards the industry, so towards the OEMs and tier one. Of course, the OEMs are always satisfied with this approach, because it's a well known approach, and it has been applied since many years. And with this results of having the final PPAP approval at the end, we will show a good safety and a good result of our work behind. So that's why this approach that we are using here within the planning and timing, from the concept, from the program approval, from the prototype testing, from the pilot and launch perspective, this will always result to a good successful result. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to present from the standard approach point of view. Of course, the IAG, it's really detailed, so it's very well structured on how the every phase itself has to be used, and what are the inputs and outputs for every phase, and which team has to develop this approach. So I would say it's a really useful system in order to make our products in a safe way. Yeah. So going forward, I will introduce now shortly the IQS system that we are using. Yeah? So the IQS APQP module. The IQS system, it's one APQP. It's the APQP which we try to define with our suppliers. It's specific description of every action or every item that our suppliers needs to work with us. It has a clear structure on how we need to make the assessments and to make the tracking of our projects. We have developed it in a way that it's well described by the plants. So we have around 12 plants only in the electronic division, where we need to introduce one approach, yeah? So which is the good structure and the good elements description of activities that our suppliers needs to use. Yeah? So every project itself, it's unique. Every project requires specific monitoring, and this is why we use the IQS to make a good communication with the suppliers. Yeah. For every element that we are describing within the IQS system, we are having a good timing behind and clear responsibilities for the actions itself. You know? So it's good to see that with the tool we are able to make the suppliers fully aware about what is our request, what is the expectation, to which time we need this, and who is responsible to do it. And so it's one thing, it's one tool that it's helping us to have a good traceability and a good tracking of what the activities are happening within the organization. Of course, out of this project base, we are also able to extract different data, reports, which are helping us to understand which regions or which locations are having difficulties in the approval of our products. The products that are developed with our suppliers needs to go requires, and it's a must within our organization, that they are using this system. And within the business partner portal, how we call it, the suppliers needs to go in and make the proper introductions of the status for the elements we required. Here we can easily see the interfaces. So there is one interface that our SQAs within the organization are seeing the project, and then there is another interface that our partner portal or suppliers are able to identify. Of course, the elements itself or the actions itself are clearly described, and the suppliers are able to see and to identify what exactly they need to perform. There is a clear responsible with progress status, which shows strictly the tracking of every activities. And of course, the suppliers are able to go in the portal, see what was required from the SQA point of view, and make the proper communication within the system. Yeah. A tool that it's giving us good timing for reaction. Yeah, so we are able to react to the deviations that the suppliers are creating to us based on the timing that we are requesting them. And of course, we are able to push the suppliers to give us those delays in a proper manner. Yeah. So we are using also an escalation approach to make sure that when they are delaying every activity and it's not according to the agreed time, then within the tool we are able to see this and make a very fast reaction to the business partner, yeah, to the partner portal itself. So IQS APQP module, it's one system that we are starting from the beginning because it is part of the development system, and for sure each supplier has to develop their product together with their process in the same way that we are doing it with our customers. So it's one system that it's making it easy for us to apply and also to make the suppliers reliable of what they are really making as requirements and the implementation of the process itself. You know, and at the end, a successful result of the release products. Of course, once we have finished with the ISIR module, with the APQP module, sorry, we have to use an IQS ISIR module. The two systems have to work together. Let's say the two modules have to work together because they are both in the same system, and this is why we are able to communicate with the supplier in this one system. Yeah. With the APQP, which has been started, and continuously with the PPAP process that we need to finalize, when we are able to have a good understanding on how the suppliers are making the progress. The ISIR module, it's one system that it's providing us clear data about what are the dimensions and the documents that we need to have in order to make a proper approval. The APQP is really supporting that the PPAP process at the end, it's good and in time. Without the APQP, we are not able to really finalize the ISIR or the PPAP. Yeah. So ISIR, PPAP, they have the same understanding and the same meaning. So at the end, we apply the same documentation behind. So more or less the same documentation behind. It's depending on the requirements that the product has. And with this system, so we can see for every every product that we are developing with the suppliers, what has been submitted, in which time it was submitted, is it according to what is expected, do we have deviations, do we need to correct it? So there are really ongoing communication within the ISIR module that we are doing with our suppliers. We always have to import, export the information towards the suppliers, so they are able to see what we are still expecting from their side in case the information is incomplete. So it's if I look, and then going forward, if I look on the ISIR module that IQS is providing, we really see a good approach in regards to how the dimensions and these characteristics are managed, because this is done all in automatic way. So we always have the balloons, or we call this blue marking balloon on the special characteristics or on the dimensions or requirements, and every characteristic itself, once it's uploaded by the supplier in the system, an automatic control or data comparison, it's performed in order to show what the supplier has provided to us. Yeah. This is a very smart system to identify also the deviations that could come from the characteristics that we have on our drawings that were defined or developed by our engineering department. You know. A very good way, it's also to identify the special characteristics. So we have different special characteristics marking, and with the tool itself, we are able to, by 1-2 click, we are able to identify the special characteristics in a proper way. The system also offers the full traceability, and this is very useful from work perspective, because we can always see the progress of our dimensions once the supplier has tried to develop the process itself, and we had deviations through that. You know. The system also makes the decision of the final product, and from the IQS system we are able to upload all the decisions to our internal system, which is SAP. Good. So that's how the ISIR module, in few words, it's working. I will just shortly explain from from the logic of the administration point of view, how we are really working with the IQS. So there is an HELA administration or a HELA environment, which is really protecting that all the IQS modules and systems are well connected. And there is also an external and data communication or data exchange between our suppliers. Of course, the suppliers need to do a proper registration. They need to do a proper training information for every system that we are using it, and we have clear teams involved to make sure that these communications are working properly. There is a decision by the mechanical designers to ensure that the drawings that are developed and placed in our IQS system are well transferred to our suppliers, and the work activities are really managed by our SQA department in a proper way. And of course, at the end of the final work level, we are using our SAP for storage data due to the storage requirements. IQS has as well their own control from the administration point of view, so that's really hand in hand with our HELA administration in order to secure the informations and the data transfers. Of course, if there is any not okay information that it's coming, we always manage it from the portal point of view, and we are doing this with our engineering team for proper adjustments. Yeah, at the end of every system that we are developing and every approach that we are using within HELA, it always required an improvement, and we always consider the continuous improvements. This is also what IAG is requesting at the end. So the PDSC approach, which is really one approach very useful within the organization. As well, here we are using a 3 steps approach because everything we try to improve or develop, we are doing this in a proper system. We are testing it in a proper system, and then for sure, before placing it to our users that they are able to use and apply, then they need to be selected in a good way with a good team behind, and place all these informations in our quality center. So IQS Quality Center, it's basically the module which all our productive users or all users globally are able to use and apply the systems itself, based on what the engineering team and complete team together with IQS and HELA are developing, and together with the testing system to the very testing phase. So this is what I have presented, and how we are doing the IQS APQP system in HELA. Then thank you very much for participation.
Yes, thank you very much for your presentation, Adrian. We have now a few minutes left for questions and can start with the Q&A session.